School sucks is a phrase that kids of all ages throw around, especially those after like 5th grade. Personally, I agree. I know, shocker, a 17-year-old doesn't like school. How surprising. Most of the time, kids will say this just because like they can't play Fortnite while they're at school, but the more uncommon but still relatively popular answer is that school's actually fun when you're learning something you're interested in, but absolutely blows when you aren't interested in whatever it is you're doing. Unfortunately, the second part of that answer is the case for probably 90% of the classes that exist. There's one final answer, however, and that is reserved for only the highest of intellectually prosperous people in the world. Nah, I'm just joking. The final answer is that school fundamentally sucks because it's designed to funnel your life in a certain direction. For those of you who are either 8 years old or simply just didn't know this, the school system is designed in a way that is severely outdated. You see, back in the age of the Industrial Revolution, the factory was becoming a mainstay. Factories allowed companies to produce goods at a record pace, massively booming the country's economy, so naturally they wanted more of them, right? Problem was, there were only so many people who could work the factories, so what does any country do when it needs success? Brainwash the next generation, of course. Okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but when you think about it, it's not really. Anyways, the modern school system was then popularized as it taught children from a young age to essentially shut up and do their work, because free thinking would cause them to realize that working in a factory isn't really that great. They employed bells into schools, which would signal when you work and when you don't work, just like in a factory setting, and whoop-de-doo, it worked, churning out mindless factory workers like a factory of its own. That may have worked at the time, but the problem is, times changed. Today, all first world countries have advanced to the point where you don't need to be a factory worker to support a family anymore. You can be a doctor, or a lawyer, or an astronaut, or even an actor, and you'll do just fine. And with those 4 examples, they're much better than a lot of other people anyway. Times have changed, yet schools have not. Of course, schools have changed in ways where you don't get hit with a cane 50 times for making a joke about the professor's balding head, but the principles of school remain the same, where you are taught to essentially shut up and do your work. Unfortunately, it wouldn't still be like this if it didn't work to some degree, because it does. There will be dumb people in life who simply just don't get it, and those people belong in the minimum wage retail jobs. And you know what? That's okay, because we need people like that to make our entire economy and lifestyle here in the first world countries even function. I guess it just proves that no one is ever useless, unless you're built like that mom from that one SpongeBob episode. One of my main problems with school, and one of the current reasons it's outdated, is that it doesn't seem to teach you things that you actually need. Most people would say that things like half the stuff in high school math falls under this category, but in defense of that, if you want to do things like engineering or anything sciencey, a lot of that stuff will actually come in use, such as graphing data from experiments to find a common factor, or measuring the distance between 2 interstellar objects using math. These things are based in academic high school mathematics at its most basic level. So in this case, I actually do think that math, while it is hard sometimes, actually makes sense the way it's currently handled. The thing I don't think makes sense the way it's currently handled is practically every other class. Like, for example, English. I think English class is essential and that you should have a good comprehension for the main language of the country that you're going to be working for, but being able to speak it correctly and clearly, write it nicely and neatly, and read it quickly and understand what you read is where it ends. What I don't think needs to be in there is all this other junk. Seriously, why do I have to write a 10-page essay on what Shakespeare meant when he said, "I hath farted"? There is no meaning, but the English majors will sit there like, well, actually, the significance of the potent wind leaving William Shakespeare's anus still radiates strongly to this day. Like, shut up! Nobody actually cares. I won't say that super specific classes like sociology and physics teach you things you don't need, because to be honest, they're only there so that you can go into the fields it's used in if you so please. So that actually makes sense, and it is a good idea for that reason. What we really need more of are classes that teach you things you actually need to know about in life. For example, why am I analyzing The Great Gatsby when I have to start doing taxes next year? Nobody ever taught me anything about those, so I'm terrified of that day and I have no idea what to do. Why am I not taught how to manage my money smartly, how to raise a family? Hell, even Riz 101, I'm just joking about that last one, but my point still stands. Next year, in order to go to university, I'm gonna need to take out a student loan. How do you do that, you ask? I don't know. Nobody ever taught me. And when you've been raised for years in an environment where it is the norm to be told what to do and exactly how to do it, who can blame me for not knowing? It truly is a tragic thing that our school system is in this state, but you know what? I was always told as a kid to be grateful for what you have, because lots of people have it worse than you, and that it really could always be worse. Unless, again, you're the mom from that one SpongeBob episode, but I digress. Anyways, that's all I have for this topic, and if I don't make another video this month, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all my subscribers out there. You guys rock. Also, did you know it's my birthday today? I'm turning 17, and it's kind of funny because that means I'll be in university before I'm 18. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next one, okay?